All right, we are recording. So if you are tuning in to this, welcome to my tutorial of Instagram stories. I know a lot of my students and a lot of people don't know all of the features that you can use with stories. So I'm going to walk you through a few of them. My name is Brittany Cooley. I'm a social media branding coach with a specialty in Instagram. And today I'm going to teach you the ins and outs of how to run your stories like a boss. Okay, so I have my screen shared in my profile, and before I get into stories, I'm just going to highlight a few important key factors when you're trying to build a brand on Instagram. You're trying to be more of an influencer, you're trying to get more followers and more likes and more saves and all of those things. There's a few things I want to highlight before I get into stories, just because this is just my personal opinion, and what I believe is important to have, set in your profile, in your brand. So before we get into stories, I'm just going to go over a few things. So it's my belief that if you are building a personal brand and you want people to follow you and be more of an influencer, branding is who you are, not what you sell. So if you have a special business or a special business account, like I have plenty, I manage a few other ones, but I have a Branding by Brit account. I have my dog's account. I have a bunch of accounts, but the main account that I do the most business on is my personal one, because it's about me and I share more of who I am, not my products and services, right? And I do behind the scenes and stories, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But an overview of your profile, if you're trying to build a brand on Instagram, I'm just going to go over a few things. And these are things I've learned from Chalene Johnson. These are things I've learned from massive influencers on Instagram and people who make a lot of money, okay? So first things first, your username. It is my belief that your username, now don't crucify me if it's not, but your username should be your name or a variation of your name. Mine is the Brittany Cooley because Brittany Cooley was taken, but it should be as short as possible. It should be as much of your name as possible. And if your name's taken, the Brittany Cooley official, the real, whatever, it makes you, not your products and services and not your business. Okay, so your username should also not contain a lot of underscores. It shouldn't contain a lot of spaces and dots in the middle of it. It should be short and concise, and it should be your name. And it should also match all of your other platform links. So I am the Brittany Cooley on Instagram. I'm the Brittany Cooley on Facebook. I'm the Brittany Cool on Twitter, because you can't have a username that long on Twitter. Everywhere you can find me, I am the Brittany Cooley. So they should match on all platforms. They should be your name. Second of all, I'm going to go over your followers. So you should have more followers than people follow you. Now, if you're starting out on Instagram and you just have 147 followers and you follow like 236, not that big of a deal. But if I followed 12.8K people and I only had 1,316 followers, that doesn't do good things for my algorithms, and it would make me look more like a desperate account. You want to follow less people than follow you. That makes you more of an influencer. So work on that. Go through your accounts, go through the people that you follow, and do you really have to follow them? Are they pertinent to your business? Are they going to produce you inspiration? Or are you just following a bunch of people because you're nosy? You need to switch your mindset from Instagram to being from business to from being personal and fun and enjoyment to being business, okay? If you want this to pay you like a business, you need to treat it like a storefront, okay? All right, next, going through your bio. Just quickly, it should be an overview of who you are. It should have an idea of what you sell and what you're all about in it, but it should not have your company name in it. It should not have for example, it should not say Beachbody Coach. It should not say Prove It Promote It. It should not say Young Living Essential Oils member number 64, whatever. You understand, unless your company requires that. I know there's companies like LuLaRoe that you have to have LuLaRoe in there. I understand that's their brand. Follow your P&P from the policies and procedures of your company, please, if you are a network marketing. But it should not say Beachbody Coach. It can say Health Coach. It can say Wellness Inspiration, whatever. So, for example, mine says Warrior and it's got the semicolon. So that's going to stick out to people who suffer from suicidal ideation or suicide survivors. That's going to stick out to them. It won't stick out to everyone, but it will stick out to the people who I'm trying to speak to. I'm an Aquarian. I don't really know. I'm not a big zodiac person, but I decided to throw that in there. I'm an IG branding coach, so I have that in there, but I don't have my business tagged, which I do on my other one. Long story. Anyway, and then I have ketones versus glucose. I don't say, I didn't, you know, it doesn't really say anything about me being a promoter with Prove It or selling ketones. It just, I believe that the keto lifestyle is more powerful than the sugar lifestyle. So that's going to stick out to people who follow a keto diet, which of course I want them to. And then I'm an author. So, and I have my book account tag, Strength Personified. Okay. Then I have a little arrow pointing down and it has my Linktree account. And if you open up my Linktree, this is what it looks like. And if you don't have a Linktree, I highly suggest that you use one, especially if there's multiple places people can find you on social media. If you have, sorry, this page isn't available. My link's broken. Okay, well, I'm not going to share that. Let's get into story, shall we? Okay. Oh, and then just one more thing I was going to point out. So these are my cover highlights. You see them moving right here. I have likely too many, but I'm just kind of obsessed. But if you notice my pattern, so my cover highlights match my quotes, and I have this theme going on. All right. So it's all kind of matchy. And if you notice, my account's pretty bright. I have some dark pictures here, but it's pretty. I use pretty filters on my pictures. I make sure you use geotags in the location. I make sure everything stands out and fits in the frame. I think that's super important. Okay. Seeing the theme here. So my quotes match it's all matchy. Okay. That's on purpose. It's supposed to be cosmetically attractive to people because I want more followers. And you have 3 to 4 seconds to impress somebody when they come across your profile. And if they don't think I look interesting in that 3 seconds, I'm not going to get that follow. I'm not going to get that like on my picture. Okay. Okay. Now, stories. I know that's what you're all here for. So, if you don't know how to post an Instagram story, so you go to, there's this little camera up here in the corner. You can click on it, right? Up in the upper right-hand corner, upper left-hand corner. Now, I have you can see the dog hair on my computer. I have a iPhone 8. So if Android is different, I apologize, but this is how it looks on iPhone. So I am just going to simply do a story like this, and I'm going to show you. So this is kind of what your story outline looks like. So I'm just going to simply take a picture of my computer to show you an example of all the features. Okay, so there. I took a photo. I can save this to my story down here. I'll write on this little down here. So you see there's the save right there, and you can add to your story. So you can save it to your camera roll, or you can add it to your story. I'm going to X out of that because there's something I need to go through before we get there. If you want to do an Instagram video, an Instagram live video, there's this menu at the bottom. You see this moving? So I'm going to go through these really quick. So all the way over is type. So this is where you can type something. You'd say, hey, I have a big announcement. And then you push the middle button. And then you can add something in like a poll question. And I'm going to go through all of these in just a minute, but I'm just sharing this, do you want to know what it is? Yes. No, thanks. So you can edit those things. So that's an example of just doing some kind of a text. You can do anything. You can write a quote. You can whatever. So then you send to, and then you can just share it to your story up here. Or you can just simply add to your story down here in the corner, the bottom left-hand corner. Make sense? Okay. So that is typing. So I'm just going to discard that. We're not adding that to my story. So then you swipe over to music. This is where you can add music to your story. Super fun, right? So you swipe over here to music, and you can search moods, you can search genres, you can search popular. Naturally, Cardi B is my girl, so I'm going to click Cardi B. I like it. So now you can choose a part of the song. So I'll choose, I probably won't even specify this because this isn't really for a post, but it's a really good way to make your stories fun and interactive. Now, so the chorus automatically selects. So then I'm just going to hit the music button, and then I have this little song that I just have here, and it will play in the background of my photo. Got it? Make sense? Okay. Discard. Now, live. Your Instagram live feed is done in your story. It is not done on your feed. So if you recorded a video for one of the assignments that I've done before and you thought that was a live, that was not a live. This is a live. You start your live video, you click start. I'm not going to do it, But that's how you go Instagram live, and you'll see all your followers pop up and people watching you, and you can interact with them and whatever. Okay. Then you go to normal. Normal is just simply where you can take a picture. So we're going to do this again. We're going to take a picture. And now we're going to go into the features for the photos, and then we'll go over the rest of them, okay? So there's this little sticky pad up here. You see it? First of all, if you have over 10,000 followers, you have the swipe up feature. If you do not, don't worry about it. It is not detrimental. It is not anything that you need to be successful in your business, okay? Because that's why you have a link in your profile. So don't worry about this. But when you become an Instagram famous celebrity, just kidding, you can click on that link, and then you can upload an IGTV video. You can share that, and you can encourage people to swipe up. So here's all my videos from IGTV. Or you can, unsave changes. Or you can share a link. So add a link. Oh, we'll just remove that. So then a URL, so you can type a link in here. But that's only if you have over 10,000 followers. And again, it doesn't freaking matter if you don't, I promise. Okay. And there's a little sticky pad, a little smiley face post-it note square looking thing up here in the upper right-hand corner. So here is where all the magic happens. There's all these things, and we're going to go through them. Okay, so location. Location is great because you can search your location. You can add it on here, all right? You can add it on. So doing this allows your story's location to be searched, which is super, it's great. For some reason they have 399 Leisure Lakes Road. That's not my address. I don't know why that's the first thing that comes up, but that's where Instagram thinks I am. Or you can select your county. This is really good to do if you're like out at a restaurant. You can tag the restaurant if you're in a new place, especially if you're traveling. Always select the location. I think this is good. So I'm just going to click on Bradford County, Pennsylvania, because that's where I live, right? And then if you tap on it a couple times, it changes to different things. So you can do the Instagram colors, you can do see-through, you can do rainbow. I like rainbow. So there's the geotag for your story. The next is @mention. So I'm going to mention Branding by Britt because that's my business account. So you can mention people in your profile. So if you're a promoter of your company, you can mention your company. If you're talking about a person or sharing a seminar, you can tag a famous person, whatever. If you're watching a show, you can tag the show. Always good to do that because that's going to generate you more engagement, the more like famous people you tag. Now, granted, you shouldn't tag people on your actual profile if they don't have anything to do with it. But like I tag like Carrie, when I'm watching Scandal and I do my Scandal posts, I tag Kerry Washington usually, and more people see it because they're searching her name. Okay. Just a tip from me to you. And you can tap on it and make it rainbow and whatever. There. Next, we have hashtags. So you can only do one hashtag in the sequence. So you can write out multiple hashtags, and I'll get that in a minute. But this hashtag is the most important. You can only use one of them. So I'm going to hashtag Instagram. Instagram, if I can type. Instagram training. So that hashtag is searchable. And if you notice, if you use bigger hashtags or that have more of a following, you're going to get more views on your story. So you want to use hashtags in your story all the time because that's going to increase your views on your story. So if you're really trying to branch out your network, you're trying to get more people eyes on what you're doing, that's what you want to do. So that's the hashtag. Now, GIF, this is my favorite. You can call it GIF, whatever you call it, but these are so fun. You can also locate these by just searching, and of course mine aren't going to load because my internet is so slow. Come on, we'll come back to GIF. I already went over music, how you can add music to something, but this is how you add it in your story. You just click on music, and then we're going to do Cardi B again. She's my jam. So now when people watch this part of my story, they're going to hear the chorus of my favorite Cardi B song, and they can jam out. It's obviously only going to be 15 seconds because your Instagram story is only 15 seconds long, like if you do a video. So naturally it would pertain to that. And it'll likely pop up with the chorus. Yep. And so I'm going to select that. And then it will load, and then I'll have Cardi B, the chorus of I Like It, play in the background of the story. Pretty freaking cool. If it ever loads. Middle of nowhere internet problems. Anyway, that's how you do that. We're just going to cancel it because I don't have patience. So then you can do the time. Now, It's, you know, not really, I don't really know that this does anything for algorithms, but it's cool because, you know, I documented like the snowfall. So like at 8, like at 6, it was this many inches. And then I took another picture of the snow and then, you know, and so on and so forth with the timestamp. I think that's kind of neat. You can tap on the clock. So if you tap on it, it changes. Super fun. So you have a couple options to choose from. You can have an actual clock or whatever you choose. Okay. Now, poll. This is important. Getting people to interact in your story is very important because you want engagement. That's going to make your bubble pop up at the top of the feed and more people are going to want to see you. So you want to ask people questions. You want them to interact. You want to have interactive stories, and you should do polls frequently. I would say you should do one at least once a day. So this, I'm just going to go with the Cardi B thing. Do you like Cardi B? Yes. And you can change your polls. Like it doesn't have to say yes or no. It can be like extra. Or if you're asking about your product and services, I don't give people an option to say, you know, I would say yes and yes. Give them both yes. Because if you don't allow room for negativity, it won't happen. But anyway, so hell no. So there's my poll. So people are going to vote on that and they're going to tell me if they like Cardi B or not. They're going to say yes or hell no. And that way their votes are irrelevant to my belief in Cardi B. So it doesn't matter what people say on these polls. It matters that they punch on them. Okay. All right. Now, oops. Okay. Where are we? Okay. So this little thing, you can ask a question here and people can vote on it. And I'll do the same thing. Do you like Cardi B? And then what they can do is they can swipe this little heart face over and love it. And that's good engagement for your thing. And you can change the heart face to be a flame, an angry face, a sad, a happy, you know, you can be creative. We're just going to do the heart eyes for now. Okay. Excuse me. Now going into questions. You can have people ask you a question. You can just pop this box here and say, ask me a question. And people can ask you a question and then you can answer it in your story. Again, you should do this frequently. Like if you're posting something, for example, if you're talking about health and wellness and you posted a workout or you posted a recipe, you can put ask me a question on there so people can say, can I have the recipe? It's the point is to get people to engage on what you're posting. Another really good algorithm feature. All right. So now we're getting into just like whatever bullshit that you can do. The temperature. I think the temperature is kind of cool because you can change it to, if you tap on it, you know, it shows the weather. It's kind of fun, right? Doing that. It's 33 degrees here. It's freaking cold. I know it's probably colder other places and it will get much colder, but 33 is not for me. I can tell you that. This is super fun. So you can like take a selfie of yourself in this little feature and put your face in the picture. Like, I mean, I don't understand why like people do this, but I think it's kind of funny when people do. And I actually don't do it very often, but it's funny. There's my face in the corner of a picture that's not of my face. Just use the features. The more you use the Instagram story features, the better. All right. And then all of these other things are just stickers. So like if you're talking a video or if something's funny, you want people to listen to it, make sure you put sound on. You can tap it to make it white or it can be that. And you can sound on, put that in the corner if you want people to listen to it. Otherwise, all this other stuff is just like stickers. They're all stickers of, you know, whatever. And you can use as many. And then if you scroll all the way down, you see the emojis and whatnot. So, I mean, just use as many of the features as you want. Now, don't do this, what I'm doing right now. Like your Instagram story should never look this jacked up. I'm just doing this to show you the different features. So that's pretty much all of the sticky note features of Instagram. Now, another thing, you can swipe over. If you swipe to your right, when you have the sticky note punched, you can see all of your most recent things. So if you don't feel like scrolling all the way through everything, you're like, oh, there's the top 3 things that you used. They're all right there. Back to the middle, that's everything in order. Then if you go to the right, if you go to the left, excuse me, you just have circles that won't load because you have bad internet. Not really that important. I'm just trying to give you the full effect. Now, if you're actually like, this is my story. If you swipe on the screen to either the right or the left, it doesn't matter. It changes the filters. You can change all the filters in your story. So if you're like, you take a picture of yourself in your story and you're like, oh, I do not look fly right now, I need to fix my face, you can swipe and you can change all the filters. Super fun. You make it black and white. But I think it's weird because my face picture isn't black and white, which is even more interesting. I didn't even know that. Okay. So if you swipe left and right on your screen, you can change the filters. Super cool. All right. So now we're going to go into, so you can draw. So there's like a marker, there's a highlighter, there is like a highlighter neon kind of thing and an eraser. So we're going to do neon. I'm going to pick purple, of course. And then if you write, like I can just draw a heart, which it's not. We're going to click undo. I mean, this is just my, I don't know why it's so off. It is sometimes. Probably the screen share is making my pen not work very well. But anyway, you can make fun neon things. You can highlight stuff. You can draw all over it if you want to, if you're artistic. I don't really use this as much because I'm not artsy fartsy, but if I want to highlight something or circle something, I'll likely use the neon pen. Whatever. Just another feature you can use. Then the typing. So here is where you can type. I'll just do the do you like Cardi B again. And now you can tag more people. You can mention people here. So I'll tag Cardi B. More people will look at my story. You can hashtag I like it. Whatever song is, hashtag Sunday, whatever. So you can type and you can change the text. If at the top there's this little thing, it's classic, modern, neon, typewriter, bold, strong, whatever. And you can highlight, you can whatever. Just play around with the features. I mean, it took me a while to figure out all this shit. I just kind of like learned it by like poking around. So just poke around, play with it, have fun. Make it look fun and interesting. Have fun with it. Stories are supposed to be enjoyable. They're not supposed to give you a headache. Obviously, they should never look like this. I'm just showing you all the features. This is way too much shit going on. But be creative. Be artsy. Be more artsy fartsy you are, the better your engagement's going to be. The more funny you are, the better your engagement is going to be. The better you have more interaction, like using the songs and asking people questions and using the polls and having people ask you questions and vote on things. It's going to help your algorithms. So then if you want to share it to your story, you can click down in the bottom and just say add your story, and it will add it to your story. I'm not doing it because this is a shit show and like 90 people see it in 30 seconds and they're going to be like, what is she doing? But you can add it to your story, or you can click send to, and you can send it to people, whoever you want to, and add it to your story. Make sense? Okay. Now, so we're going to X out of that. I'm discarding this beautiful piece of art. I'm going to keep it. I am going to save it because it's kind of funny. I think these things are hilarious. Okay, so I'm going to X out of that. Discard. Now, back to the camera. So this is the camera where you take a picture. It's always on normal. You can put the flash on. It's down here. You can have it on auto. You can have it on night vision. You can put normal, whatever. Okay. Then over here, you can switch the camera on. I know I look really good tonight. And then you can do this little face thing, and you can do like the Snapchat face like filters if you're familiar with Snapchat. I can change my lipstick color. Super fun. And there's like cat eyes and weird filters. Like you can use all these kind of things. I mean, I don't use them a lot, but the more features that you use on Instagram, the more Instagram rewards you. So use them frequently. But it's fun. You can just play around. Like, again, this is supposed to be fun. This is not supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be kind of a sneak peek into your life. It doesn't have to be super meaningful. It should add value. You should be entertaining and relatable, and talk about your products, of course, but just have fun with it because this is fun, right? Super fun. Let me get you a picture. And then it like looks like I'm in a confetti party, right? It's fun. And then you can add stickers and do all that other shit. Okay, now, moving on. What is that here? Oh.
Last night?
Okay. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm going to turn the face thing off. And now, boomerang. Boomerangs are like little like loop videos of like, so if you don't know what a boomerang is, like, I'll do a selfie one. So a boomerang is, and then it'll loop. That's how you do those things. And you can do them right. There's an app you can download to have them on your phone and then upload them to your story. Or you can just do them right in your story. Instagram is a big fan of Boomerang because Instagram created Boomerang. Okay. So that's Boomerang. You can do that right in your story. Like I said, so you're on normal. So you're swiping over here to the left or to the right. Sorry. Okay. Then super zoom. Super zoom is just like, I usually use the Beats one, but, something I can super zoom. Really, I can just super zoom the screen. And there's all kinds of different features for this, but you can and it just does this. And that's the Beats one, and it plays music in the background. It's kind of loud, so just prepare for that. So I'm going to X out of that. Another super zoom is like you can do, like if you're zooming in on something you love, it's like if it's a person or an animal or whatever, you can do a super zoom of love. You can do surprise. There's just have fun. Just have fun with this. Like it's fun. Like it really is. And it honestly, like, be careful because it's a time suck, because I find myself like doing shit like this all day and I'm like, oh my God, I have so many other things to do. But it's just fun. Okay. So we went over Boomerang and super zoom. Now you focus. So this is where you would find a face and you focus on the face. Not really that big of a deal. If you want to rewind something, so if you want to record something backwards, so like if I was to record my dog running towards me, it would record him running away from me. And then this is hands-free. So this is useful when you're doing videos. You can literally just punch this and it will record. You don't have to hold the button down to do a video. You can just, it'll record you for 15 seconds and you can say, this is my Instagram training and whatever. And I don't have to touch, like I can just push this and talk and then it'll stop. And I don't have to hold the button down the whole time, which is really nice. And then, so I'm going to X out of that. So that's it. So you've got hands-free, you have rewind, you have focus, you have super zoom, boomerang, normal. And if you just hold the middle button down, that you can record a video like this. I'm sure you guys already know that, but you can do that. But hands-free is just much fucking easier, to be honest. Excuse my French if you're easily offended by foul language. I have to remember that not everybody watching this is going to be in my training. Okay, so then live, you do a live video in your story, you just swipe, you can do music, and then you type. Also, if you click up here on type, you can change the backgrounds and you can change the colors down here. I mean, it's really just, it's just a tool to have fun with. I don't want to type anything. How do we get out of here? No. Then exit out. Oh, and then you just swipe. Okay. So that is most of the features of Instagram Story that I can think of. Those are the important things. I think that'll help a lot of you. Click on settings up here. Oh, that's another thing we'll go over. So when you open up your story, we'll go back. You open up this little camera up here. It'll always be on normal. And then there's always this little gear up in the upper left-hand corner. So if you click on that, you can choose people, like if you're trying to surprise somebody, you want to hide your story from someone, or if you're just trying to have nosy people mind their fucking business, you can choose, like you can hide your story from certain accounts if you need to. You can allow message replies from everyone, people you follow, and you can turn them off. So if you don't want people commenting on your story, you can just click that and then they won't be able to send you a DM. So if you're like, I'm really sick of these weird people messaging me, you can just click off. Allow sharing, so you can let people share your story as messages. I think that this is important, especially if you're adding a lot of value or sharing a recipe or something. Have your allow sharing on. I have mine saved to camera roll on. You can also save it to an archive. So saving it to your camera roll is really important because in doing so, you give yourself more content to upload to your Facebook stories, which is just easier. It's like a win-win. So it'll save to your camera roll and then you can go into your stories and upload. And then you can actually instantly share your story to Facebook. But I don't do that because I just don't. but you can, and that's fine. It doesn't do anything. As far as sharing actual posts on Instagram to Facebook, I don't advise that. Like, organically post it, because if anything's shared from a different platform, it's not going to have the best benefit to the algorithm on the platform it's not being organically posted on, if that makes sense. Okay, and then to watch other people's stories, the whole goal is you want your stories to be seen, so you want to do a minimum of 5 a day, I think. And you want, the more people you tag and the more relevant you are, the more your bubbles are going to pop up in the first row of your followers, and the more viewers you're going to get, if that makes sense. And yeah, that is my little Instagram tutorial on stories. If you have any questions or you need anything further explained, please feel free to reach out to me. I am here to teach you all of the things. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I look forward to seeing your stories and seeing how they'd improve. If this helped you, please let me know. Send me a message. If you're using different features that really, really make a difference in your business or just in your engagement, I would love to know. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, and I will see you guys very soon.